Winter Solstice, June 21st, 2021, 1:31 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I cast this solstice chart for my hometown, so the houses will differ slightly depending on where you are located on Earth. Here in Australia, we are at the time of the winter solstice. In other parts of the Earth, it is the summer solstice. This does not affect the placement of the planets, however, so this reading can also be used by those experiencing summertime right now. Also, if you wish to gain a greater understanding of how this solstice energy may impact your own personal life, you can compare it to your natal chart and the personal planets and the angles in your natal chart. This reading is just a standalone reading of the winter solstice. This chart is cast using the Placidus house system. I realise that a lot of folk use sidereal system, and that is okay. I have found in my studies that both systems have value, and so I will not enter into a debate with anyone about which is more accurate or which should be used. Suffice to say, this is my personal interpretation. Each and every one out there are entitled to use whichever system they choose to without fear of ridicule from others. I will not tolerate belligerent comments on my channel. Now getting to the chart. The first thing that I noticed about this chart is that it has a bucket configuration with the moon as the handle, Pluto is the lead planet, and Mars the end planet. This is a very powerful configuration because the moon is in Scorpio, and both that sign's rulers, Mars and Pluto, are pivotal in this bucket pattern. The moon holds the key, or is the outlet of energy for all the other planets in opposition across the chart. We express moon energy emotionally, and it is deeply connected to our roots, our psychological ties to the past, and our inner security. With the moon in the water sign of Scorpio, this deep emotional energy is heightened, and the conjunction to the Ascendant gives it an outward expression. We can expect to experience a lot of open displays of emotion throughout the day of the solstice. Pluto leading the charge in Capricorn in the 4th house may make for some explosive or powerful dynamics in the home and family. Close relationships will seem hard and challenging, bringing up lots of deep psychological wounding that needs to see the light of day in order to purge. With Saturn also in the 4th house, this amplifies this emotional unrest and may bring restrictiveness or difficulty relating to our kin. Collectively on the world stage, the human family will feel this threat to its security, and there may be extra pushes on us with authoritarianism, rules and regulations. Mars is the end planet in the bucket configuration in Leo in the 10th house, bringing about grand and regal action on the world stage. The opposition of Mars with Saturn makes for an interesting power struggle. We may feel pulled by extremes, 1 minute wanting to step up to take action in bombastic ways, feeling pulled to execute extreme social justice, the next wanting to withdraw into the comfort of old, more familiar, if not rigid, security blankets. Mars the warrior is wanting to don suits of armour, take action, wage war. Saturn is wanting to hold back, bide time, restrict movement and action. We have the two warrior planets of war and destruction flanking all other vibrations or all other planets, expressing through the moon with deep, powerful emotional displays. Scorpio, the warrior of the zodiac, is in charge of the moon at the time of the solstice, making for very deep waters to be stirred. Mother Earth and the family of man are undergoing deep transformation that is rocking the very foundations of creation. War is being waged not only in the outer expression, as the powers that won't be for much longer continue their assault on family values, our way of life, and our security, but those in the inner realms are also fighting fearlessly in this spiritual battle for our souls. In order for us to take advantage of this powerful solstice energy, we need to overcome the blocks and obstacles indicated by the squares of the moon to Mars and Saturn. Delving deep into our past, shining light on the darkness and letting go of reactive, old, habitual responses and emotions will enable us to pick up our spiritual shields and fight for our rights, the rights of others, and for truth and justice. We need to step away from victimhood and become the warriors that we came here to be. The opposition of the moon to Uranus and Taurus in the 7th house may mean that we can experience separation or imbalance within our relationships. This may exasperate our feelings of insecurity. We may feel we have had to step outside our comfort zones and all things familiar in order to find truth, justice, and the way ahead. It isn't easy being a light bearer or torch holder, but if we can remain steadfast, we will begin to feel the warmth and strength of arms behind us, helping to steady us on the rocky and oftentimes lonely path. There will be roadblocks as indicated with the squares of Saturn and Uranus. This power struggle wages on between the planet of conformity, structure, authority, and discipline, and the planet of awakening, innovation, unorthodox ideas, new independent thought, and lightning-quick action. The old guard is crumbling, but it won't give up without a fight. This aspect affects the 4th and 7th houses, indicating that we can expect to see many dynamic changes in home, family, and relationships. The opposition of Pluto and Venus will see much mirroring and reflection. We're being asked to purge our deepest, darkest wounds in order to heal and reactivate our hearts. Pluto in Capricorn means a lot of work and discipline is needed to transform, but we can utilize the nurturing energy of Cancer, currently in charge of Venus, the planet of love, relationships, and values. Finding the balance between putting in the hard work while still being kind, gentle, and loving with ourselves will help us gain equilibrium. The Sun has just slipped into Cancer and is forming a trine with Jupiter in Pisces, that sign's traditional ruler. Using this softer, more loving, nurturing energy at a time when all this warlike upheaval is upon us will help to keep the heart going and give us the strength and resolve needed in this battle. Pisces energy is doubly strong at this time as both its rulers, Jupiter and Neptune, are in their native sign of the fish. Spiritual awakenings, intuition, compassion, and creativity is heightened at this time. Pisces is the sign of sacrifice and service to others. It would do us well to keep this in mind in our quest for raising the consciousness of the collective. However, care must be taken not to fall into exaggerated emotions or victim-like tendencies, as well as staying vigilant not to fall for illusions or into fantasy traps. The Sun trine Jupiter does help strengthen our will, however, and can be used to our advantage in staying on course and aligned with our goals. The mothering, nurturing, and protective energy of Cancer, along with the compassionate, caring, and sacrificing vibration of Pisces, will be of great assistance to the slowly awakening heart of mankind. The trine between Mercury and Saturn brings sharpness of mind, and new ideas will have fertile ground in which to spring forth. In order to leave the old behind, we must have visions of the path ahead. The Gemini Aquarian influence over the planets of mind and structure will lay a great foundation for ripe, innovative ideas that will have concrete, tangible results. This will lead us to new inventions or the remembrance of old structures long forgotten to come to life once more to help mankind in real-world affairs. With the Mars trine Saturn sextile Chiron, long-hidden deep trauma and wounding will begin to heal through fiery action, Mars in Leo, and higher-minded discipline, Saturn in Aquarius. Neptune sextile Pluto lends itself to massive, radical, and powerful spiritual growth and transformation. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, bringing higher ideals and creativity, as well as unconditional love. Through the Plutonian power of death, rebirth, and transformation, mankind and Mother Earth will break free of the old paradigm to be born anew. Which brings me back to the ruler of this chart, Scorpio, ruled by the powerful Pluto. At the lowest level of consciousness, Scorpio is represented by an animal that, when surrounded by fire or danger, stings itself to death in order to escape its fate. We have already lived that scenario out, possibly millions of times collectively. Once the soul has risen through experience to the next level of consciousness, in Scorpio, the eagle is able to fly overhead, looking down over any perceived obstacle or danger. Then the ultimate sacrifice of the soul, baptism by fire, is reached, where the phoenix rises from the ashes transformed and anew, where it soars not only above the lands below, but up and across the many realms beyond. So in a nutshell, this solstice is about strength, becoming warriors, fighting for truth and justice, learning to tame the reactive emotions, and digging deep into still waters in order to heal, transform, and begin anew. Like I said at the beginning of this reading, for more insight into how the energies of the solstice are directly affecting you, you can compare it to your own natal chart and see if any of the transiting outer planets are aspecting your personal planets or hitting any of your angles. I've created a solstice meditation as an accompaniment to this reading. Please check out the link below. And if you found any value in this reading and would like to see more on astrology, please hit like and comment in the comments box below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you can keep up to date with any ongoing readings that I do. Thank you. Happy solstice, everyone. Namaste.